Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, for a brief moment, I believed that I had lost the whole work I did so far in the past 4 days by not being able to find the file, but luckily I found it saved in another place, which was, yeah, inconvenient really. Moment of stress, but all good luckily. And we get to save, retrieve the work we've done so far these 4 days. Not much, but still, it's gonna go slow, as always will, given the details I have to navigate here through this engine, and parts that are not really clear, like this. But today I'm about to finish this, so we can move on the other side and, yeah, speed it up a bit. Friday. Hi Karim, good morning mate. How is in Egypt? How's the time in Egypt? Here in Macedonia it's raining as hell. Pretty darn cloudy, I would say. Also, so. Hi Viva, good morning man. How's in Germany? Okay, that I will just approach with lattice. Not with lattice though, with maybe just soft selection here, so I can have it a bit easier, you know, to like that, to bring it up, and these out, just push them backwards like that, manually one by one. We're gonna polish this once everything is over, to make sure they are alright and structured, you know, like uniform. I can tell, still blind. Oh man, I forgot about that. You said you need to prepare your lenses, so for the scheduled test, when you're about to go, did you said this morning or the day after today? The weather is good, enjoying the Ramadan vibe too. Is it Ramadan today? Biba man says in 7 hours he needs to go for the check he has to for the eye. Okay, I assume that's, like you said yourself, nothing serious. That's why I'm wearing these glasses, and they're a bit muddy, I would say. Where is my... just a moment. Yeah, there they are. I have these I'm wearing, like using for the cleanup, for cleaning it up. They're really useful, because whatever else I try, you know, to clean them up, it will just make them, I'll smudge them more, so further, you know. So these are quite convenient, like just, I don't know, 50 cents more or less in our value, even not that much. And they're much better. Karim says he's currently fasting. Today I assume we'll have interesting topic on foods, I guess, because recently I made, I wouldn't say drastic change, but I'm trying to change for the better. I'm trying to, I mean, I love meat, but I'm trying to be very conscious of it and to try not to eat so much meat. And considering that, in regards to that, I'm trying to, what the hell? I'm trying to get, how to say it, meat that has been produced by whole wheat ingredients. Also haven't tried any alcohol for like, how much now? I think 125 days. I haven't touched any alcohol. I'm trying to go for a year, really just trying to, you know, dedicate a bit more time on that side of things, you know, to stay healthy, hopefully, and all that. What are your glasses? I am at minus 2.5, but I think it got worse the last year, so I scheduled to check. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Biba is I'm not wearing any lenses for correction. I just have these ultraviolet glasses for protection from the monitor. Luckily, I would say on that part I have good genes. I don't know. I've had friends that were spending amount of time, the same amount of time that I did or used to. I'm still doing it. You know, I'm still spending that much time on PC and all whatnot. But I have no problem. I don't want to push my luck, but I don't have any problem so far. I can see like an eagle. Really, but I have friends that just after mere 2 years, you know, having endeavors with computers, he had to wear glasses. Actually, I'm not sure whether that was the cause of it, you know, as a result of spending time on watching in computers, but I never had any trouble. And so far I don't, so I have hopes that it will last for a long time. Hey William, good morning, man. Nice to catch up with you afterwards, yesterday, on Instagram. I loved your setup that you had on sim racing. I mentioned something about that during the stream. I'm not sure you caught that up, but surely enough, after I went to check your profile, I'm looking at that steering wheel, beautiful steering wheel. Unfortunately, I'm just having a Logitech G29. I'm thinking on upgrading, like not upgrading because I don't consider this any of that high level gear. So to be upgraded to something higher, I'm just having the budgetary starting wheel, I would say. But still, even with that, I'll tell you, I've been racing Max Verstappen on several events quite competitively and others, so I decided to stick with it for foreseeable future. And given that I don't have much time on while doing these projects and everything else I do with clients, I haven't spent much time on sim racing, but I used to do it a lot in the past, like probably 20 years I've been doing it highly competitive, in competitive circles and all that. Well, I think Biba says I ruined my eyes on CRT monitors in the early 2000s. Yeah, I can speak, attest to that as well. While I was working in my father's company for 8 years, and that's actually how it began, how my drive for 3D began. There was point of time in the day during the works that I did not really had to do much, you know, so I was pissed off with the fact that I have so much time going to waste and I felt unproductive. I wanted to do something else, you know, wanted to learn things. Basically just wanted to do more, you know. So surely enough, I signed myself for 3D lessons, and that's how I began, that's how my journey in 3D began. But speaking on the computers, Biba, it's my father in this company has like computers from 95, I would say, 2000s, early 2000s. Today they're upgraded, but 10 years ago they were still the same monitors that he used like in the early 2000s, because they were just mainly used for Word and Excel, you know, things like that. So they weren't really any important. But still, the monitors were awful, and I realized, because before that point I was mainly playing games on PC or just video editing stuff, filming, things like that, editing shots. But it was still quite different. But when you have to look at certain dot here, specifically on this model, without unconsciously not even blinking, I realized that there is extremely big difference from one monitor to another. Because working on those monitors at my father's company in every spare time that I could get, which was usually not more than an hour, I will be feeling like very strong headache. My right eye especially would be almost, you know, half red with blood, or whatnot, exploded capillaries and all those medical stuff that I don't know much about. So I realized it very much matters what you're doing on PC as well, whether you're gaming or working, and what type of work. Because if you're gaming, you're blinking more. Unconsciously, you're blinking more. But when you're working as what I'm working right now, what you work on a robot as well, as 3D artist as well, it's entirely different, because you get to be so focused on something that you forget to blink. And that's very painful for the eye, especially when you're watching on not suitable monitors. So it's that when I realized I have to invest in this gear that I have in front of me, which is, yeah, Dell monitors, ultra wide, this and that, you know, eye protection and whatnot. Prior to that, I wasn't really taking it seriously. Like, what's the difference between this monitor and that monitor? Why on earth, like, this monitor is just 100 euros and that monitor is 1000 euros or 2000 euros? They're still producing the same image, but I wasn't really aware of the, you know, obviously the processes at the back, in the background, I would say, of the pixels and all that, and how color worked, blah blah blah. Anyway, so I decided to invest in that, and like since 5 years ago I got these two beauties in front of me, and since then I don't have any problem. And furthermore, I decided to buy these glasses just for protection, just for you know for any case that, you know, I always say you can never be how to say this, you can never be too safe, you know, you can always do something more. I feel like I'm rumbling too much. I'm gonna stop for a moment and try to focus on the work. You're free to chat, guys. Really curious to, for example, hear from Willem about the sim racing he does. If I got this correct, he's working like with filming. It's something I very much love, or loved, I would say, because I'm not doing it, you know, a lot these days. But I mean, it goes. I haven't even done anything regarding filming other than some tribute videos maybe, but that's that, nothing more than that. But you know, done with care, with love, with passion for, you know, to hit moments, to tell a story and all those things, combined with some soundtracks, you know, Hans Zimmer music and all that. I just love it. Also the first, yeah, Biva says, yeah, well, yeah, programming and graphics back then, and some gaming. I think for CRT monitors the refresh rate was important, and I just had very cheap ones. Same here, man. Say pretty much the same. Also for the first screens, and while starting at distance of like 1 meter for 8 to 12 hours a day didn't help too. Yeah, and look at my posture right now. I'm inclining towards the monitor, whereas what I'm trying to say is that I'm doing that unconsciously. I'm always trying to be like lean back like this, you know, a bit further from the monitor. But after a certain moment, I'm gonna be like this, you know, trying to get closer and closer, like almost into the monitor. So that thing alone doesn't help either, but that's why I'm trying to work on things slower and with more leisure, I would say. William says, not so much sim racing here at the moment, don't have too much spare time now. Yeah, that sucks, I would say, because I'm in the same waters, I would say, and I really miss it, man. William, I'll tell you this, I bought 2 years of iRacing licenses, and I have spent not more than 10 hours in this year and a half. My license would expire around October this year, and I just did sim racing as while I paid for that package only like 1 day probably. So it's really a waste, but I really cannot afford myself, you know, to spend much time sim racing. I bought Assetto Corsa Rally as well. I plan on streaming it. I got this headset as well that I'm trying to stream it with it, like through VR, you know, and all that. But didn't have the time so far to try anything really on that part. So, but yeah. Anyway, I just hope to some projects to come to fruition, and that I can spare some time a bit more to be more, you know, enjoying other things other than anything regarding 3D. The way I see things, guys, for myself, I cannot speak for anyone else, nor I should, nor I can, is that whenever I don't work on a project, I have like an anxiety, because that's all I do. I work on projects, that's my way of earning, of making for a living, and doing so as a freelancer. That means every single month almost I have to send new, and all the time basically I have to send new proposals to clients, to potential clients, to work on projects and whatnot, and not always you're hired. People say, oh Dushko, you have great portfolio, you're among the best, blah blah blah, in Upwork. Well, it's not really like that, because there is no such thing, first of all, as the best in that world. There are all kinds of clients from all around the world, and everyone is trying to get what they believe is best for their value. That goes to say, for their money. So someone might be expensive, someone else will be cheaper, and so on. There is work for everyone. But right now I'm in a situation where I cannot allow myself really to work any longer for those cheaper end of the pool, so to speak. So I'm no longer probably that much, I would say, maybe I'm just rambling on here right now, as thoughts come by, that not really, how to say, what was the word, not a great candidate, I would say, because I've sent like 50 proposals, I'm not even hired on one. Anyway, so nice man, what do you think about Assetto Rally? Well, I'll tell you what, from my modest experience with doing sim racing on rallying, all I've tried so far, Willem, is Richard Burns Rally. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's rally from back in the days, like from 2000s, but it's one of the best rallying on sim racing still. But the graphics are, just awful. So people are more driven towards, better graphics simulations these days. So I enjoyed quite a lot Dirt. I bought VRC Rally. In VRC Rally, I would say, when I'm trying to, for example, you have a turn and there is a ditch on the right side or left side, it doesn't matter, and you're trying to catch the apex and rotate the car around the apex, and there is a obvious extra deep ditch on the corner or anything, that it's not leveled with the gravel or whatever. In VRC Rally you wouldn't necessarily feel that, but in Dirt you hit that and you get reaction on the wheel. You get the reaction on the wheel, the car slips away, you have to correct that, and I would say it's more reactive to the gravel and how gravel is in Dirt, which for me was more intense and I enjoyed it more. But for me both were great. So those are the 3 rallies only I have ever tried. Assetto Corsa Rally I still haven't, Although I bought it like... When did I bought that one? Let me check my Steam. Because I did bought it and I haven't even turned it on even once. So there it is. December 5th, 2025. Yeah, that's when I got it. That was like a month later because people already told me that there is Assetto Corsa Rally out. I didn't know. I just got it and 7 minutes playtime. Yep, there it is. 7 minutes. I haven't even... I mean, literally, I haven't driven anything in it yet. So I'm not best equipped to speak on that rally. But I'll definitely give it a go these days. I used to do content for that Dux Drive profile I sent you. It's actually the first YouTube profile I had that hit 1,000 subscribers after another one that I had like 15 years ago, through which I was earning also, but due to Formula 1 rights I lost that one. I will, Willem. I will definitely, man. I will, you know, take your advice, and I'll definitely try it out. I've been saying that I will for some time now, and I still haven't. So I'll definitely give it a go. I don't know. Lately, I started playing some more, you know, games where you can chill. In sim racing, I get intense. I want to win, and even sometimes I would say this. Maybe it would sound silly, but sim racing can destroy my whole day. If I'm preparing for some big event and I'm, you know, in the top end fighting for pole or a victory, and I lose that, quite often I know, you know, to be very much pissed off afterwards for probably whole day, and that's not something you would like when you're in a company of other people. You know, you don't want to be, you know, how to say, you know, just bringing negative energy. You know what I mean? So it's just I realized probably it's taking too much toll on me, you know, to act like that, and it shouldn't, because I'm not even spending much time training, you know. So yeah. But anyway, I mean, sim racing is a great thing. It's a great way to learn. Surely enough, doing sim racing made me understood. Like when I would see F1, I'm mainly watching F1 from motorsports. I'm not watching many other motorsports categories anyway. So when something will happen, for example, a driver will spin, or this and that will happen, if I knew the background of how those drivers approached their training regimes, what they were testing on, what the car's strengths and weaknesses were. Now, I might be arrogant to say this, but, or naive, it's probably the better word, but I kind of knew why that happened, not how it can be improved or what should be, you know, what should be done to modify that for the better. That only the engineers from the F1 teams can know. But I remember 2019, Sebastian Vettel spinning through the Ascari section in 2019. Yeah, I can even remember the day like it was 5 minutes ago. I was so pissed. I am Vettel fan, but he's retired, so probably I should refer to him in past tense, with past tense. Anyway, the guy is alive, you know. So he spun, but he spun in a high-speed section corner, and that could be only the result of certain things that have been, you know, done on the rear of the car that can cause such thing, which is like, you know, wings, camber, springs, this and that. But to the average viewer, you know, he wouldn't know about those things, because obviously he wouldn't be familiar with the terms with the terms and the details that these drivers go about, you know, to try and set up the cars. So yeah, definitely people can learn a lot from doing sim racing, which is what I'm trying to, not actively, but whenever the topic arises, I always try to you know, like give advice to friends of mine that if they want to improve themselves, whether it be driving, cognitive response, awareness and all that, they should try sim racing, but try it in a, you know, to, because try it in a competitive way, I meant to say, because they would just jump on it and they will be like, okay, so now what, we're driving circles alone? Well, that's the point. You're trying to push as fast as possible and, you know, to try to take out better lap times. So by doing that, you get to learn a lot, and that's the only way. Anyway, so it's a great thing. I mean, sim racing, Jesus, I'm doing it since 2000s with F1 Challenge, and as early as 2000s, 2001 and on, I truly believe that the sim racing was the future, where people, real F1 drivers, might jump in, you know, and learn from it. That simulators would be used for, you know, in F1 factories and all that, and surely they are today. So, yeah. Guys, I hope I'm understandable when I speak. If not, please let me know. But I hope you don't mind me. English is not my native, and I don't necessarily believe I'm, you know, all too well speaking English. Much of because maybe I believe that we can always improve on many aspects in life, right? So maybe I'll be never speaking like, you know, English people would, you know, but I don't know, I have that just as a conscious thought in the back of my mind that always troubled me to try and do not sim racing, but to do live streaming, I meant to say. So, are you looking forward to the next F1 season? A lot, man, a lot. I'll tell you that with certainty. Just before I turned on the stream, I was going across some news about the season, about the testings and what's been done, what might be expected, what teams are doing, and so on and so on. I love technology. I'm sure we all do here, especially when it comes to cars. I love cars. So yeah, I mean, I am. Although I do not like the rumors that are about the way racing will be done, which is to say they have too much of, you know, too much technology right now on the cars. And I'm sure yourself, Willem, you can vouch for that as well. Considering you're doing sim racing, you would be perfectly capable of understanding what I'm referring to. When you have all these gauges and whatnot that you have to be mindful on while driving. Myself, I consider to be like, I'm not even racing for real, but I haven't raced for real, but I consider myself to be of the old retro days, where a driver just needs to be put in a car and for him to try and drive it to the best of his abilities. I don't like these managements, these strategic approaches where you should be mindful where on the circuit you are applying the energy the energy powers that you have stored, where you are trying to restore the energy, what's the most efficient about that, and so on and so on. You get to think now for many more things than just driving. And since I never loved that, because we had a championship back in 2013 here in Macedonia. It was like serious championship, I would say. We got even you know, commercials on the radio, TV commercial about it. The guy that organized that championship took it seriously, which is something I always dreamed of, really, to have something like that in our country. And I surely enough applied for the championship, you know, for the season. We drove 8 months there. I won the championship in the end, and so on and so on. My point being was, at the last races, I was already like in the championship lead, and I won the title with 3 races to go. At first, it was closely contested by 3 other people. But as the season progressed, I pulled away, and I did not took any longer. I did not took them that seriously. So I want to say I eased off a bit. So I did not spend enough time to understand how DRS works. And honestly, spending too much time in the lead, I never had to use it anyway. So at Suzuka, on the short straight that you have, and you know when you go when you exit the last chicane in F1 car, and depends what, and depending how much you're pushing it, if you have like very unstable rear end, going downhill on that straight, the rear can be unstable a bit. So while I'm trying to manage that, 2 guys behind me, closely behind me, within 1 second, both of them got DRS, and I was just like a sitting duck on the straight, and it's a short straight again, and they went just left and right, and I couldn't do anything, and I'm like, okay, what's this? I don't like this. Like, you cannot do anything, you cannot defend, you cannot do anything against that. So that's why, in my opinion, the DRS in F1 is like the worst of things that was ever allowed in the championship. I never liked that. I never approved it, but who am I, you know? So anyway, speaking of technology and all that, that's my opinion. And considering this year we will have more of it, I know it's like two-edged sword, you know. It might be good. It might be too, you know, tactical, too reserved, where we will have, I assume, drivers, you know, taking it back only to release all the power on the next big straight, or to pull up some seconds on the straight. So that's the only thing I believe that will be like the key this season. It's certainly not good, but I can only imagine that drivers, they're competitive people, and that no matter what they engineers would be telling drivers from the you know, on the radio and this and that, like manage the battery, blah blah blah, they would try to use every opportunity they have to probably, you know, stick it to someone or overtake someone. So I believe that still there is going to be some nice battles, but albeit a bit more artificially. I mean, that's just how they made it, so. Anyway, I just cannot wait. The mornings before F1 season begins, that morning when everyone is preparing for the start and the Grand Prix to go ahead, it's one of the best mornings of the whole year for me, because us being in Europe, it's very early morning for us, so everyone is sleeping. I'm the only person in the house awake. Nobody else knows, you know, like what's going on. This is like my only thing, and it's kind of, I don't know, cozy, you know, buckling up on the couch, getting some popcorns, and just waiting to see what will happen in turn 1. I mean, F1, I can go on and speak about 4 hours, but before that, just to say hi to Veer. Welcome on the stream. Glad that I saw you, albeit through camera, yesterday. Nice to catch up. Yeah. Jeez, how much time I was talking. I need to ease off a bit, guys. Willem, I don't know if you can recognize this. Or, yeah, let me show you this beauty. I want to model these guys as well. this thing I want to model it from, you know, in details, to pull up every block that there is, and to model it literally how the Lego blocks are made. Oh, the mirrors here are clipped. Let me... Yeah. Okay. Yep, that's right. Today I should be ordering the F2004 of Michael Schumacher. It's gonna be released in several days, and I certainly want to get that to add to my collection here. It's not big. I have one that my wife, when we were just girl and boyfriend dating, for a birthday she surprised me with one Burago of McLaren. Although I'm not a fan of them, I don't know how much you can see it. The camera is blurring it out. Anyway, this one is from 2011, yeah, of Johnson Button. When she gave it to me, I froze. I was like, I hope it's not Lewis Hamilton. I'm not a fan of his. So I turn it around. I see it's Button, and I'm like, okay, that's great. Other thing, Willem, this is also a gift, a small gift from a friend from Netherlands. He's a Macedonian living in Hague, and sure enough, he knows my passion for F1 and racing. So he saw this little toy, and he said, "I just wanted to give it to you." So that's for him, from him. Basically, of all these three, the only thing I've bought is the McLaren MP44 that I found in Lisbon last year. I've been looking at it in Bologna, in Imola, in Maranello when I went. I was looking for it in Rome. Haven't visited Amsterdam and, you know, Netherlands as a whole since 2009. I told you that. So that's not where I've been searching also. But yeah. Willem, you're a fan of racing, so I'm gonna show you a video of mine that I have on my YouTube page that I'm sure you haven't seen. And I don't know how much you've seen though, but I just want to share something with you. I'm sure you would appreciate it. You will, that's the correct pronunciation. Okay, where is the video right now? It cannot be that. Oh my, is it that old? No, it can be. Where's the video? What? I'm sure it's somewhere around here. It should be. Wait a sec. Oh, it's on my Duke's Drive YouTube channel. Oh my. I should have made sure to post it on my Avramsky 3D because it's more about filming and all that. Where is it? Where is it? Yep. Okay, commercials. I'm gonna let you guys watch through that. That's Willem from my visit in Imola in 2004. 30 years since the death of Ayrton Senna. At the same age that he was when he died, I got the chance to go and visit the place. It was surreal. Yeah, man. I was all, goosebumps all over me. Like, and I found people that hanged out our flag, so I signed it and all that. I mean, I wanted to say I completely forgot that when I'll go there, I like to hang out our flag, and I'd like to sign myself, my name. So I just found the guys randomly from my country that we just recognized each other, and I was like, what are the odds, you know? So, yeah. And you'll see the inscription right now, I believe, in here. Yeah, there's my wife sitting over there. She was just bored, you know. She just wanted to get going, and I was like, I'll be staying here whole day. Then on the way back to the train, we found a gallery in his name, in his honor. And I'm like, hey, I'm entering that. No questions asked. Just wait for me for like 5 minutes. I have to take, to take a shot on what's going on. And yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful and surreal to me, honestly, to be there. Something that I watched and grew up watching since I was a kid. Yeah. I'm not gonna bother you guys with other things. I'm just gonna get going with the work. But for people who love motorsport, as I do, I just want to share it because it means a lot to me. And I understand that whoever also loves cars and racing and so on, I consider them to be a special kind of people. We have passion that's very hard to describe, to explain to people. I have friends who are just gobsmacked and saying like, how on earth can you spend so many hours in front of PC, just driving alone in circles, and what's so special about watching cars go in circle and all that? Well, it's not that. It's much more than that. But they're missing the point. And of course, it's hard, to explain what that is. So, what pleasure it gives someone, that racing and all that. Anyway, my analogy to racing, guys, I'll say it, is that always since a kid I was a bit chubby, before I went competing in swimming and playing water polo, before I grew up my posture and grew up as a man a bit. Before that, as a kid, I was a bit chubby, so I was always among the last when we were running. But I always knew that if you give me 4 wheels, it's the same 4 wheels as everyone else, sure as hell I'm gonna beat those guys. So that's what drove me towards racing. That notion of it's not gonna be won by the person that it's most athletically prepared, but it's gonna be won by the one that's wanting it the most. That's kind of my analogy and how I believe it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what works for me. Hi Blaster, hi there. First time on the chat. That's interesting. Whenever I see people first time on the chat, it's like giving me motivation to do this thing, which I'll be doing it anyway. I think I've done a fair share of modeling there. It's quite nice. Now I need to approach with this part to make it stick, like to be combined and all that. Let's not touch the circle there, so I'll just modify this one. Maybe you're bored, guys, but trust me, this is like the most boring parts of doing this vehicle. It's like just random geometry that I'm doing that will not be seen that much. For sure though, it will be seen because I'm planning on showcasing the whole engine, visualizing that, hopefully, as I've shown you earlier, to place that with the VR, in VR environment, so to be able to walk around the whole car where you can see the engine, where you can see these intricate details of the vehicle. that's kind of my goal of what I want to achieve with this piece. So I mean, what I wanted to say is that probably it's not as interesting as you would see someone develop, a chassis of a car, and how they go about how uh, the chassis is brought up, and out of nothing, suddenly you have this beautiful sculpture. So yeah, I'm a big fan of yours, who always in shadows. Uh, Thank you very much, Blaster. It's very refreshing, really, to hear that, because a fan of yours, it's kind of a big statement. That's how I see it, at least. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but thank you very much for that, for those kind word, those kind words. It means a lot. Uh, Big fan of mine. That's always lurking in the shadows. Well. Uh, I'm very glad that you finally stepped out of those shadows and decided to say hi in the chat. Uh, I mean, I'm welcoming conversations. You know, it's keeping me sane, because what we do here, it's not really. It's like the opposite of that. Spending tremendous amount of hours working on something that's uh, pretty probably not gonna. It's just art. You're developing and developing until someone comes along and says, you know what, that's something I love, and brings value to it. Since a kid, I was painting, like drawing with hand, and I was quite good at it. I had talents, people said, but I never pursued that, because it was, painting on a paper, and I never believed that in the country where I live in, that can be of that great value. So I kind of always knew that I'll be switching towards graphic design, these kinds of things. Vip C. Avra, also handsome young man. Thank you, thank you. What's with my voice? Thank you very much, man, for that compliment. Beautiful voice. Well, that's the best compliment I got so far. Because whenever I hear myself, I hate myself. I don't ever get to watch the live streams I do afterwards. I cannot play them. I cannot stomach them. Now, for to hear that, that means a lot. Thank you very much. But straight speaking, guys, I cannot stomach myself when I hear myself afterwards. I'll tell you that. If anyone has any, uncertainties, and it's not confident in doing something because they cannot, listen to themselves, and they hate how they sound and so on, trust me, you don't hate yourself as much as I hate myself when I hear how I'm speaking, how I'm, talking. So. But yeah. Anyway, you're not alone. I hate hearing my own voice too. Blaster, you go, girl. Wait a sec. Blaster B. You're a girl, or I mean, not that it makes any difference. It's just that I don't have girls on the stream very rarely. There is actually not rarely, but there is just only one girl that I know that is a 3D artist that's around. Her name is Clara. She goes by the name Drake, and is pursuing 3D arts from the same academy where I've spent learning 3D back in 2016 throughout 2017. Yeah. I'm glad either way, Blaster, because yeah, you might be potentially car guy, and I always love to get around people who love and appreciate cars or racing. So yeah, I've been working, guys, on quite a lot of projects in the past 8 years, namely speaking, around 200 of them, and I've been working on all kinds of projects that you can imagine, from being contracted to clients that work with NASA, among others, and creating hotels authentically made for AR, VR, projects related to car manufacturers and whatnot. I never dedicated my time specifically on building cars, and my time being split among projects, I decided it's time that I pursued what I want to specialize in, which is hard surface and vehicles. So last year, on January 1st, I came across a Instagram reel video that said that went about in context of there was a guy that he succeeded in his field. He is a video editor, and he has made Instagram reels in millions of numbers. And on 1st of January 2005, he said, "This is what I was doing for the whole year. I decided to spend my time doing only this, and these are the results." And he's showing in the process, all these details that data and how much people he touched and how many millions of people are now watching him. And it was like a turning point for me, where I said, okay, I have it enough. I've done quite a lot of projects for people, for clients that were paid and all that, but now it's time that I should pursue what I'm passionate about. What I'm passionate about, it's racing. It's like my, I don't know how to say it other than I cannot imagine life without racing. So that being said, I was like, I have to go and start, doing vehicles. So January 2025, last year that is, I began developing the Ford 34 Legend. You can check that out on my YouTube page. There are some. I'm not sure actually that there are some videos left of it on Twitch. But surely enough, doing that, I began streaming. That's the moment when I began streaming. I wanted to record the whole process, so also I would be, I would have this like a stored. I would be storing these material online, while I'm doing it, and I liked that. So that notion. So that's how I also began streaming. And yeah, what I wanted to say is that. I'll be solely trying to focus on vehicles, so mostly of what you guys see on my stream will be about vehicles. Anyone who's interested in vehicles, feel free to stick around. There will be lots of that, but if you're about to, watch animation, this and that, that's not something that I do. So yeah, I'm a huge car guy. I'm very glad to hear that, Blaster. It would mean a lot to me if you can hit subscribe, follow on my YouTube page. In I guess show of support. I'm just trying to build that page to what I had in the past, which I miss it a lot. That is to have my own YouTube page, which would be like not prominent YouTube page, but respectfully, to have people, and in that way, I shouldn't really go and say more than that. Anyway, besides that, I'm doing also sim racing, so there will be something of that, I'm sure, in the future. Actually, much sooner than what one might estimate. I'm gonna definitely give it a go. That Willem mentioned, Assetto Corsa rally. I wanna try it. I haven't so far, and I'm willing to see how it works. So I'm not sure whether you guys would be willing to see anything driven on this channel, but sure enough, I have Duke's Drive YouTube channel on which I am posting videos about sim racing, but not frequently any longer, because I did not have much time to do that anyway. So yeah. I love that you use pen tablet with Maya. Yeah, I at the start when I was learning 3D in the academy, they were doing it, and I couldn't understand it. It was too complicated for me. But sure, soon enough, I began doing it myself. Then I stopped because I have ultra wide monitor, which was too huge for the tablet I had at the time. So this tablet is a generous, it's a generous gift from a very close friend of mine called Diamondus. He is also on Twitch. He's trying to stream from time to time about gaming. He's doing games not frequently, but let's say he's just experienced when it comes to games. He knows a lot about that. He loves Guild Wars and things like that. So if any one of you has ever played game like that, make sure to check him out. You know, I mean, for now he doesn't have anything of substance. Like, he just began streaming. You know, he just got like a graphic card, proper graphic card with which he can play like the top titles in the world and all that. Anyway, so this is a gift from him. That now it's a bit wider, so I can use it properly on this monitor. Where on my laptop in my living room, I'm using the other smaller tablet, which is quite suitable for that laptop. Now, there are some there are sort of questions that I missed. Blaster says, "Wait, how long are you doing 3D stuff?" Well, Blaster, to answer your question, I'm doing 3D since 2017, like properly. Although even models that I did last year, I would say to myself, or I would look at them thinking, you know, in disbelief of how not well made those 3D models are, because we're advancing, you know, all the time. So I'm a bit more philosophical about it right now, but specifically speaking, to answer your question, I'm doing 3D since I began learning in 2016, but working on projects and all that, I began as early as 2017, April. So next year, April, I'm gonna make exactly 10 years how I'm working as a freelancer, at least. Okay, I love that you use pen tablet with Maya. That I read. So after a point in the last company I had stopped hiring, Veer says, stopped hiring 3D artists who used a mouse in Maya Max Blender only. Kind of got biased that way. I don't know what company that is or who brought that up, but I'll say that it's really stupid. It's really stupid. And also, guys, I want to make sure that you know that all that I'm saying is, I would say, even to the most of relevant people if they enter the chat, like, what's that? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not that using a pen will make you a better 3D artist. Softwares alone would not make a 3D artist better 3D artist if they don't know how to do things. These silly arguments about all the time whether Maya or Blender is better, like, it's nonsense. If you know how to do certain things in one software, you will know how to do them everywhere, regardless of what you're using, regardless of the pen, regardless of whether you're using mouse or whatnot. So to hear that, maybe I'm just, you know, speaking from the bad experience I had also working in a studio, because although I learned a lot, although I cherished my time over there, although it was kind of a dream come true for me to work in that studio, the culture that was in that studio was not okay. So from all that I've witnessed over there, I made a conclusion that people really don't know how to make business. They don't know how to work truly. Not that I know all of that, but it's just you cannot, put down people because they're not using the pen and fire them. Like that's bad. I can be quite opinionated. Okay, let me turn back the music. I have a non-copyright song here that lasts for 4 hours, and it's kind of a nice measure to tell me when I'm about to finish the stream, which now I kind of stopped for like 20 minutes. Anyway, Blaster, man, again, I want to touch on what you said earlier. The few compliments you gave me, you just made my day, man. I don't know your name, I will refer to you as Blaster, but I'll say, specifically speaking of the thing about my voice, I don't necessarily believe I'm sounding bad, but it's just that as it is, I suppose, with everyone, that when we hear ourselves, we don't like how we sound. We are always surprised by how we sound. So I never liked how I sounded, and I cannot hear myself, like I said previously. So to hear that you think, in your opinion, I sound okay and all that, it means a lot. Thank you for all of your hard works and setting the goal higher, so a guy like me in junior level to achieve more and more. Yeah, man, I mean, I'm seeing these great guys, amazing artists, like Nimlot, like Andrew Hodson, like Hugo's Desk, and many others that are established artists, who have their courses and that they're lecturing other people. I've been thinking about that as well, and I'm thinking, how on earth would I explain to a person that he needs to do things in a certain way? Because there is no right way when you're about to do stuff. For everything in 3D, I believe there are about three different ways in which you can achieve things, which goes to say there is no right or wrong. There is just the creative work that one does, whether that's technically correct, like whether it's with quads and not, whether you have a certain flow around objects, and so on and so on, and whether things are up to scale, whether you're attentive to details, and all of that. But how one achieves those details, there can be like as much as three ways. So to touch on how I started this thought that I had just now, is all these great artists in their courses, they specifically stated that it's expected of you to work very hard. What that tells me is that, I mean, it's kind of just naturally coming up, because I know how much time I've spent to try and do things, is that there is no other way for anyone to learn other than that, just to spend long amount of hours, not necessarily only hours, but to work on their craft. Because every different model that you would do would probably have a certain way on how you can approach it, a bit differently than what you've done previously. Pretty much something else would have to be done in a different way, and you will still have to reinvent the things that you've done along the way. And the only way in which someone can be constantly up that ladder and progressing nicely and doing all this stuff, is that you have to do this stuff. There is no other way. It's not like, okay, I know how to merge polygons, I know how to do this, and I know everything. No, you don't. Like, for all these specific shapes here, the way I go about it's like subdivision, not subdivision, but polygon detailed modeling, like polygon by polygon. I'm not even using NURBS or anything like that. But at a certain point I would, if I can. Then you have to know how to convert that, to merge all of them in between and make sure the booleans are not destroying your hierarchy and your history, because it can get quite messy. You have to know how to clean that up and all that, you know, in between. So all of that you learn, you know, as you go along the way. And just when someone does a car or does a character, it doesn't mean they know how to do those things. My point being here is that I don't know how I would teach someone how to do things. You see what I mean? Because I can tell them, okay, you should do this, you should do that, but that's not all. You know, you have to spend a lot more hours. You have to work a lot more, not just to waste your time, but really to develop the details and to try to push that art to, you know, to be even more impressive. And for that, no one can teach you, you know. Maybe once everything is finished, someone would tell you, okay, you know, this should have been done in that way, in this way. But again, you would learn that only by doing it. It's not like I'm struggling here, guys. Help me! I'm struggling here to really to try and put my thoughts out there on what I really believe is the case, which is pretty much as simple that there is no one silver bullet for everything, you know. So I mean, you know, Nimlot it's tremendous artist, right? He's amazing with characters and what he does. But if you want to do characters like that, it's not that you have to use the tools in a certain way. It's just that you have to spend the time in achieving those details, and, you know, spend the time if you want to achieve that level of work. Maybe I could have said this in a very short sentence, like, it's not the tools that you need to learn, but the process to love the process of, you know, doing the work. If you can love that, if you can enjoy that, everything will come easy. But if you think, if your reasoning is that, oh, that's too hard, it will take me too many hours, and you know, in that kind of way, well, you won't ever achieve anything. I'm sure of that. Okay, Blaster, now I think you're kind of I don't know what's the word in English, but people that read that comment would later on would say they understood what I meant. I think it's too much. So to refer to the comment, you say, Dushko, you're handsome and have pretty voice and you're perfect. No one is perfect. We're all trying to be better every single day. But that's all that you can do, you know. Thank you. Wow, you remember names. I suck at memories, man. I think that was referred to probably what Veer said previously. Ha ha ha, no, I hear you. I never fired them. They just would not have that kind of speed to match the people who worked with a pen tablet. I did not care which software they worked on. Wait a second, you fired them? Oh my man, why would you do that? That's dumb. And yes, I never had a bias before, but the folks who worked with a mouse instead of a pen tablet were just not able. Wait a second, I'm just trying to go around all the. You did not fire them. You were selecting people that were working with mouse to hire them. Okay, sorry for that, man. I'm just trying. I was, going in about the work and reading, trying to read all the comments. So, okay, understood that you tried to hire people that were only working with a pen. Well, I'll tell you what. First, to get back on what I said, I believe I'll try that's dumb because I'm sometimes much faster with the mouse. This pen here that I'm working with this, in this case, it's not as fast. It's not as fast as I would have worked with my mouse, because I actually don't know why, man. But probably you can tell me. Maybe I'm missing something. But the software, it's like a bit lagging in a moment. For example, I would like to select this edge, but it will select something else in the back. And I've tried and went about all the details I can do in settings about Maya. It did not solve it anyhow. So sometimes I'm just picking up the mouse and I'm building up fast. So I would say from my personal experience, I don't believe mouse is anything else other than maybe just giving you more control when you'd like to sculpt something, paint something, things like that. I'm sure you can vouch for that because you're established with ZBrush and sculpting and all that. I don't do sculpting. I suck at that. So let's say just that. But yeah, anyway, I mean, you know, working with pen, it's interesting, but it's kind of it's making me feel like, you know, you're important. I go in a bar and I'm sticking out my pen and starting, you know, drawing, painting, and people stop and say, "Hey, dude, you do great work. That's cool. What you're working on?" They're curious about it, you know. What are you working on? Okay, I forgot to disconnect my internet connection. Router, my router. I forgot to disconnect at a different point of time, so it won't disconnect at this time, because now it did, and I'm sure the stream fell. Wait a second, I have to reread Veer again, because I just read the first sentence and I don't want to miss anything. Sometimes it can be quite tricky, guys, to catch up with all the comments. Veer is streaming as well. How can I make a shout? Shout. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that was received. And yeah, I never had a bias before, but folks who worked with a mouse instead of pen tablet were just not able to complete the test piece on time, so the upper management would reject them. After a point, they just automatically became mostly artists using pen tabs, not mouse. I left that job in November anyway. I'm sure, Veer, that you're agreeing with me, man. I'm sure on that. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know, to for that management to fire or do not hire people that's working with this or that, you know. I'm sure you experience the same. Veer, are you there, man? Wanted to ask you, I yesterday saw that emerald, the diamond, or what that was. Curious to know what was, what you were working on. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's a bit lagging. How can I hide certain things here, guys? I have no idea. This is quite... okay. Blaster says, held a message for a reason, aggression, allow post it to chat. Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot... Actually, I can allow that. Why not? Veer will just tell them to off. Well, I understand that. Yeah. By the way, might just a second. I have some difficulties here because of some notifications coming up and cannot read it. Wait a second. Why I'm not getting all the messages here? Okay, this is something messing up with my chats here. Sorry guys, sorry. So Vera says, I was working on ornamentation for the character, but ZBrush crashed 2 times during my stream, and I made that gemstone 2 times. Oh my god, man, I feel you. One time in the studio I was working on, we lost power after 8 hours of work. Everyone left the studio. Like, it was around 3 o'clock and we only had 1 hour to work, you know, and then we were going home. And we lost power at around, like, it's 11th hour, basically, you know. And when that happened, everyone just left. Like, we're not working anymore for the day. That's why, man, we have to save every time. Every 15 minutes. Okay, yeah, sorry, Vip, I slept on my desk itself, my bad. Yeah, that's a reply to the comment before. Vero says, by the way, might I suggest Chatty? It's a software that gives you toast notification on your desktop when you get chat messages, so you don't have to look away. Thanks, man. I'll try to get that. I'll get to you once I finish with the stream. If you can help me with that. I don't want to bother you though, I don't want you to take your time, but in the meantime also, while you're watching, if you can just drop a link on how to install that, that will be quite helpful. Hey, I think your chat is stuck. Yes, it is, because like I've said, my you know, the IP address on the internet in everyone's house, it's resetting once in a day or twice maybe, I don't know, it depends. So my router, it's set that it's resetting its IP at one specific time in the day, which is this time, 10 and 15, something like that. So So whenever that does, my live stream falls. I'll make sure that once I finish this stream today, I'll go there and fix that up. So I'll just unplug it and plug it at a different time in the day, so I don't have that disconnection anymore and you guys are not kicked out in a way. It pisses me off more than anyone else, trust me. You know, I hate when I see that, you know, the connection and everything has fallen. So I wanted to have it, you know, stable and proper wise, so for everyone to just enjoy watching what I'm doing. Now in here I have to do something else, guys. Like there should be like a circle form here. Still we're moving at a decent pace, one step at a time. I'm gonna get this thing. And oh man, when I'll do. I'll tell you what, guys, after I finish with the stream, I'll be continuing with the work. I have work with a client that I have to develop some equipments for visualization for a studio. So I'll be continuing that. The hour will be around 1 o'clock. That's when I plan on finishing today with streaming. So it will be 1 hour longer, more or less, but then I'll stop and I'll have to dedicate my time on this project that's awaiting me. And it's super urgent, by the way. That goes to say I shouldn't be really streaming today, but I want to keep my discipline, you know, and for everyone else that's watching the stream, basically to stand up to my word that I said, you know, I'll be streaming every day up those hours, so I'm trying to honor that. Now, I'm not sure you're seeing all these messages. I wasn't, yeah, man. Vivier says Blaster, tell them to just, yeah. that one I read. Vivier says, but you're most welcome to message me on Discord whenever, happy to help, but I'm no expert either. Myself included, man. I got on your Discord channel yesterday. I need to get back to my exercises and game design and planning as well. I'm gonna give you a lurk and get on it. Sure, man. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to finish what you have to finish. Wish you all the best. Take care today and every other day. That is, and wishing you quite productive day. You know, we'll be in touch. I'm very glad to get in touch with all these people, guys. That come along the stream. It's like a small community, and I don't want to sound cliche about those things. I'm the opposite of a cliche, man. That's why I'm always, I'm quite opinionated about things. I can be, so I just say what I believe is right, you know. So I don't. I hope I haven't offended anyone in that sense. But if anything, I'm honest about it, you know. So. Wish you the best, man. Thanks you for stopping by and take care. Second attempt, Dushko, I used to model in Maya, then I joined as texturing artist in studio. 2 years I worked. I got for Maya modeling, man, and I learned Blender now. I stuck in between like modeling Blender and UV stuffs Maya. Well, look, I'm no experienced in Blender. Blender, I've used it only once for a client. I was pretty much doing it, but like the client asked, do you know how to work in Maya? I said yes, I learned it later. But I'm not experienced in the sense to speak how you should go about UV mapping in Blender. All I can say to you is how you can do that in Maya. The way I do it in Maya, I'm using UV layout, which is a tool that's helping you to have this very quick walkarounds of UV sets in Maya. Now, I'm not sure where is watch this tree. watch this 3D model came to life, upraising and detailing. I have some videos on my YouTube channel where I can show you how I go about UV mapping. Yeah, there it is. Hereby a video that I made like, when was this? 8 months ago. Jesus. So I would suggest to you to use this one. If you can get it, take it. It's unbelievably fast. It's awesome. It's very quick. You get to unwrap meshes and whatnot very quick. For example, this racing seat, I got to unwrap it like in minutes. Look, now the whole video it's danced in, you know, time lapse wise, multiplied by 2. So if this is 43 minutes, the whole work was done in 86 minutes. That's 1 hour and 20 minutes. But out of those, I was UV mapping only for like 12 minutes. So that's super fast. If you want to do UV mapping, try to get that. And forget about Blender in regards to UV mapping. From what I've heard, it's not good, but I'm sure they will improve things. But yeah, if I were you, I'll try to go with Maya, with Maya and UV layout, because it's just much faster. This can get tricky, quite tricky. Wait a second, that cannot be. We cannot have like that tight edges there, yeah. Yesterday I got an interesting question saying are you working all those model, all that with vertices, moving vertices? Yes. I mean, people are imagining that they would, you know, get it very fast, just drag and drop or pull a line from here to there, merge that and be done. Yeah, in an ideal world, that's how it would be done, but let me remind you all. So I'm not trying here just to put lines and have it a circle and use that all with NURBS, deforms and whatnot. Every polygon in here, I'm trying to optimize it to look nice and to be proper how it should be looking, not to be having any normal issues and all that. Which brings me to the question of Blaster B saying how you fix normal issues like reflections, artifacts, kinda. That's a good question, and the only way about to do that is to increase the geometry or specific hard surfaces at specific points like that. You see here we have normal issue, so we have to fix that. Now it depends if I want to increase the geometry at certain points, and or I would not like to have just hard edge. I would use beveling. So beveling will give me like a structure. I'll just show you in a moment. So something like, yeah, we have that there. So something like this, and I'll just make it. Yeah, there is an issue here and there. You can also, what you can do, another thing is go about the vertex, go, I believe it was display, polygons, and you vertex normals. So you get to tweak the normal here itself. So if there is an issue with it, you can play around with it. But I would not suggest that because it's gonna be like what's the word? You know, like a wormhole. You know, you wouldn't get alive out of it. It's probably just for one certain point on a model, and if you have problems, yeah, sure, you can use that to fix it. But if you try to go about everything that you have in a model, it will be too much, because every vertex that you move, it's corresponding with the nearby vertices. So if I move this, the other surrounding it will not be okay. Maybe these, if I touch only this one. So it's never, you know, like a good idea to do that. But that's a good question. And going about fixing normals, I would say that hard edges, soft edges, play with that around. For example, the models we were working on Race Room, we wouldn't be able to send the model to the studio if we hadn't made properly the hard edges how they needed to be. For example, like in this case, if we had it, you know, slightly different, they wouldn't accept the models. They wouldn't have them. Now I can remove this entirely. It's not needed really. And I'll try to make this to be uniform here, like that. Now you see, if I make it soft edge and this soft edge as well, I'm gonna lose the structure of this more or less. It's good, but it's not ideal. So I'll need to bring more details to it. Now what I don't like is the discrepancy in between these three. They're all bit different shape on the top, and I don't like that. So once I finish the whole model, I'll make sure to go back and fix that. So what I'll do is I'll have this like, wait a second. That's more likely, but still, I mean, it's clean, right? So that's clean, so at least it's something that we can work with, but still far from what we need. I need them to be sharp, like this here, and this point to be here, like that, so we can have a nice silhouette around the edge of the model, so they're not really just undefined like this. We need, but actually thinking of it, I'm supposed, guys, to go around the whole model and then apply bevels. So like all this, wait a sec, okay, all this will have to have a bevel. This bevel here would continue to connect here on the inside. I'll have a full hands of probably whole day of work just to try to get the bevels done properly on this model. Hey, Dolly Crane! What a surprise, man. It's been a while. Very glad to see you on the stream, man. Dolly Crane, a fellow car enthusiast. What happened with your car that you've been developing? Thanks, man, you're awesome, and damn, man, you're so patient. And how long will it take to finish one car completely? Well, it really depends, Blaster. The whole car that I've developed, wait a sec, if I can find some. Yeah, now I'll have them here. Let me just drag and drop them, and I'll save that scene, so for the future, whenever I open it, I can showcase these things to people. Just a moment, guys, bear with me. So my models, Porsche 962C, images, renders. Oh, actually it's not there, but the visual, cars, images, renders. God damn it. Okay, now we have something. Just a moment, guys, just a moment. Literally count to 3 and I'll have them. So here it is. Now, Blaster, these renders, this vehicle, I've done this within 1 month. This I've done within 1 month, everything from scratch. So much of this work has been done, not much of this work, but whole work of this, the whole entirety of this car that you're seeing here was done for a client who owned this car. And this vehicle was supposed to be made literally how the vehicle, the original one, was, with all the scratches on it, with all the bumps and details, ruptures here in the chassis. Basically, there is everything to it. Now, I was so proud in doing this that obviously I wanted to share with everyone. on my portfolio, but I wasn't able to. And pretty much probably I'm not supposed to show them right now. But yeah, I decided to do it anyway, to show them. So it's no big deal. It's not like I have it on my portfolio anyway right now. I cannot post them. So my goal with this vehicle is to basically remake that into this beauty, and with all the details. There are so many details different than the other one, which I'll explain once I have the whole car made. That will be left for some other time, probably in 2 months. To answer your question again, more specifically, for that car it took me 1 month, but I wasn't making the whole engine. I wasn't making the racing seat to the details I have it now. I haven't made the assets to the details I have them now. I haven't made the caliper and the wheel and the front suspension to the details I have them now. So this vehicle is taking me much longer. Like probably, if I have to put it down, like all the time I've put in this car, it will be more or less like 2 months, 3 months. But the real time I've spent working on this car, it's since mid-July. Right now we're middle of February. So that's July, August, September, October, November, December. I have to be honest saying that throughout December and January I haven't touched on this car. So that's 2 months already out of the window. And then for the rest of the work that I had, for the rest of the time that I had, much of it has been spent working on the clients for 10 hours a day. So I couldn't really do anything on this vehicle. But which brings me to why I'm trying to stream right now from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. is because very often I would feel like overstimulated, or I just felt like I had it too much. And for example, after long hours of work, I would like just to have something else, like playing a game or whatever, just not doing 3D. So I said to myself, this is not right. I have to get going with this car. It's standing like that for 2 months now, and I so much want to finish it. So I said, okay, I have to be disciplined about it, and every single day from 9 a.m. till 12 a.m. I'll be working on this car for the foreseeable future until I make it. And now let's be more effective. I'll try to now speed up and work at my usual pace, because I feel like I'm talking too much, really. Not that I don't welcome it, but it's just I'm trying to focus on other things as well. And maybe after all, streaming and working these kind of things is not very much optimal thing to do, but I'll try and I'll manage. So first of all, why the hell I'm doing this when part of this needs to be a circle? Or does it needs to be a circle? You see there is like inclining, or they're connecting over there. It's pretty much seen like that. So there's this on the end here. Then we have, okay, this, which continues, but there is a circle here. DDH just subscribed. Thank you very much for the subscription, man. Not sure though whether that was on YouTube or Twitch. Actually, if it was on Twitch, I'm sure I would have gotten like different kind of notification. Thank you very much for the subscription, man. It means a lot. Whoever is watching, feel free to go on over my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. It will be of great support for me and much appreciated to help me do this what I'm doing. Where also I'm posting frequently videos over there of what I'm doing. In 2 days there will be another video over there of this work that I'm doing, just rendered with V-Ray, just quickly made render with Chaos Vantage, rendering on GPU, much faster these days, allowing me to make honestly great quality of animations. It's just really great for presentations and all that. It's really awesome. I think the model is really coming along. Looking at this, guys, on the left side, and looking at this, it's pretty much there. Like, we have these two very close, then we have bit separated this one, there it is, that one. We have the circle here, which I'm not gonna do because there is a tube in here. Yep, there it is. So no need in posting that. Maybe I'll just mimic it, go around that and play a trick, if we can call it a trick, something like this, guys. So what we have a line over there. It's like a separate object we can see. So how I will approach that is just by doing this. I'm sorry, but you know, you'll have to forgive me for trying to speed up things, because there's just a lot of work that needs to be done on this vehicle, and doing this like I'm doing it right now will be quite sufficient, I believe. Now beveling that, making it metal, then where is it? Where is it? Come to me. Okay. Actually, I just need a circle. Now, again, G for repetition of the tool, the same tool, and then just drag it along over there. It should be dragged a bit more further. Yeah, it goes a long way inside, like that. Now, when we'll have the whole model, guys, you know, it won't make much of a difference. So yeah, I'll just try for this to look as good as possible. And now we don't have much of what needs to be done here, so I'll just try and experiment a bit. Some would say, you know, you don't need to make it in detail, you just make it, you know, with blockouts and all that, but I feel that it's kind of cheating, you know, and I'm not someone who does that. I believe in, you know, doing the work and doing the effort of, especially when someone thinks that something is not necessary, you know, that's when you have to do it. Because when eventually it's finished, that guy would come around, see that, and be like, I cannot believe you do that. You did that, you know. That's what I'm after. I'm after that impression. Eventually, it will leave on, or maybe it's just something I believe and no one else. You know, I'm selling the Ford I made for like how much is it? I have placed some on my coffee page. Let me check. Yeah, so I'm selling this for like just $35, and it's included everything in it. So this work took me like 3-4 months to make it. It's, come on, the pan. There's everything to it, you know, details and everything quad based, topology, you can print it out if you will, and so on. To put it, you know, the hours to make that, it would cost like $4,000 by my hourly rates, and probably more, 5-6 just per month. So of course not willing to go into details of talking about financing and all that. But really, for anyone considering a senior needs to do that, like the base is how much, $45 an hour. So you would need like 3 to 4 months properly to make this car properly how it needs to be made. So you do the math of how much that costs to make. So, but yeah, anyway. Yesterday I was talking with a client. He wants the guys to make to create a whole animation of an airplane stuffed with seat pods, where in the case of an emergency that the plane is crashing, these pods will save the lives of the passengers. So he wants to make a visualization of it to showcase how the mechanism is working throughout the plane, how they will be ejected or thrown out from the back, parachute opening, fire coming in the plane and all that. So you need to model the plane. If not provided, you have to model the pods that will be protecting the seats. You need seats, you'll need to get some characters and whatnot. And I'm saying like, okay, this will be around 2 months to 3 months of work, like, if not provided with assets. For example, if someone provides an asset of the whole plane or the whole product that they have and so on, you can animate it probably within a week with all the details and make it how they want to make it. But when they don't have anything and they say we want you to model it, that's how much it will take. And when they surely enough heard the price, they were like, oh, that's too much, we don't have the budget. Well, what were you thinking? Now, although I try to make sure that these panels here are all aligned, same thickness or facing the same angle as a certain, also facing a certain angle here, I'm sure that when I'll try to do this right now, they won't be, I'll see some changes. Oh no. Damn. I've managed to make it that precise. That's good. That's good. That's good to see. I was skeptical, to be honest. Now, I'll try to make the same with this. Same panel, different side. Yep, you see that? So we have a bit of twitch over there. Yep. That's not perfectly straight, and these here as well. Now they are surely flat. Now, before moving anywhere else, I'd like to be finished with this section here. That means that I'll try to have this like strictly uniformed, like these are, and they're quite bent. Okay, what I'll need to do here is, this will take some time now. Okay, now it's a point where I can use a bit of curves, so I have them very straight on, and on point. Now that I have made basically retopology, or the retopology of this 3D scan, to make sure they're very much aligned, I'll use a curvature, so they're all the same around this element here. Dushko, sorry, my internet went off. Did you saw my last chat? Yeah, why I haven't seen it? If you don't mind, what is actual use of this much detailed car? Like, do you know why clients comes at you and how they are using it when they already own them, for example? Sorry, I'm just trying to understand what the scale value of your amazing work is, I believe. Yeah, I have a friend who's dentist, and he always says to me, how do you make for a living? Why would someone buy this, you know? So there are all kinds of clients in the world, there are all kinds of needs in the world, and I'll tell you now. So this client that I worked for, they had their own client that didn't know how much money he had in his bank. He's a billionaire. In his garage he has a value of cars that he can pay off the GDP of my country, for example. He's owning like 911 Porsche Carreras and whatnot. He's owning McLaren. He's owning all these kind of amazing, very, very expensive cars. And surely enough, he has bought this Porsche 962C that has been driven in LeMans in 1989. It finished like 7th or 8th position, I don't know. But you see, now I have to elaborate a bit on it so you would understand me on what the value is. Enzo Ferrari, he said that there is no beautiful car, but the car becomes beautiful when the car wins. Now this car did not win, it finished 7th. As such, it did not have a great value, but the design, the team effort that they made at the time to make it stick and bring it to the racetrack, it has its own story, and that story apparently is it's very big. That this guy spent $3 million to buy this Porsche 962C, and he has that car right now stored in his garage. It's not a garage, it's like a warehouse with cars of all kinds: Ferraris, Porsches, McLarens, Paganis, whatnot. His garage is probably worth in billions, you know. Maybe billions is too much, but let's say hundreds of millions. So apparently that client, he wanted to have the car preserved as digital version. He wanted it to have the option that he wouldn't need to take the car and drive himself outside or take photos of that car to showcase to people. He wanted to have that car on a piece of a phone where he would show it to someone and he would just tell him like, here, you can swipe, you can enter the car, you can see everything. You can see the car from 360, how the car really is. So this company for which I was contracted for and working for, the developing these kind of authentic vehicles, like previously mentioned, they had to be made authentically with all the details on them being damaged. You can see some patches here and whatnot, details how the car really is. So it's authentic to its counterpart. It's not really for videos, it's more like for promotion and showing the car and things like that. Right now what I'm doing to show people that I can do the car from scratch. I can take on everything that's about the car. I can prepare it for AR, VR, for game design or visualization. Now people might be wondering why would brands like, you know, big brands in the world would pay such money for and why they would make commercials about their upcoming vehicle models with CGI. You know, one might wonder why they don't just get into the car and drive it around and, you know, make a video out of that. Well, the thing is, the cars cannot be always shown. The thing is that sometimes and that's quite frequently more than people suspect. These brands are not able to, not able, but they're not willing to show the cars for the public, you know. So they want to keep that to be secret, and it's very hard to do that when you have to bring the car out and film it in some, even in some remote places. Someone will see the car or things like that, you know, will occur. Someone will take photos of cars and things like that. So everything is ruined, right? The way of how they promote the car, they eventually will promote the car, it's gonna be ruined. So they need to be secretive about it. And the only way to do that is to either film it in a studio, which is very expensive, or do it with CGI, where you get the model, you create CGI, you know, obviously everything is digitally created, and very much controlled. So you don't have any dangers of, you know, people seeing the car and releasing material out in the world. So that's that. So let me convert this edge to a curve. So we need polygon edge to curve. Now we have one curve. All we have to do now is make that flat, but except now I don't have with what to flatten it, except make it like this. Yep. So let me get this. I want to be very careful here with this to proportionally put this, so it should be probably a bit more to the left and be more inclined like this. Now I'll make a copy of it, and I'll just, yeah, that's not right still. It needs to be a bit to the side like that. That's proper now. Control Shift F. Can suggest any YouTube channel if I want to learn car modeling, like you or any artist who does courses to like only know 850 tutorials, Drift 3D and so on Mars 3D, also GL Musi. Damn, dude, you've mentioned like a lot of things that it was a bit difficult to read. And now I'm not sure whether those are YouTube channels and how they're called really. But I don't know, I mean, probably I should do some and, you know, showcase them to people on YouTube. Maybe like yourself, you would love them, you would like to watch them. So far I haven't tried to create any tutorial, but no worry, I got around it. I got around it, no worry, it's all good, dude. Anyway, so yeah, yeah, what I was saying, maybe I should make a tutorial on how to model a car, but I have been reluctant to do so because everyone has their own ways. I've heard a guy saying, you know, we are not stupid enough, I'm quoting him, to do car by, you know, doing polygon modeling. Well, you see, I believe there is nothing stupid for anyone to try and do polygon modeling, to do car polygon modeling, because actually that's what they will require out of you if you want to try to get yourself in a studio. You will have to know how to do polygon modeling, and if you don't know how to do that, well, I'm pretty sure you won't get the job. So hearing this guy saying that this or that is stupid, that someone does that, in this case myself, I'm doing polygon modeling. Now look at this, I'm using curve, you know, modeling. So is that wrong? No, you're just trying to find a way to get around things, to make them stick, make them work properly. So that's all that matters. Loft, there it is. Maybe just this, bring it a bit higher, like that. Now G again. Now from NURBS to geometry. There it is. So now I have to clean this up. I can easily go and click on, you know, decimating, but it's not consistent. It's not consistent, and it won't give me the control I would like to have to decimate it where I believe it should be decimated. So you see, learning 3D, it's not about doing it in the fastest way. It's learning, you know, to do it properly, how it needs to be used. I mean, surely enough, if you can make something very quick and that will stick in a game studio or whatever, sure, you can do that. But it's not always the case. It's not always the case, and now we have this nice and very well made structure on top. I'm just gonna duplicate this and move it across here. Just the same. And I don't care how this was previously. I'll just use it this as it is right now, because once it's made, it's gonna feel much better overall, you know, for the shape. And again, this is art. This is not mechanical modeling in terms of that it needs to be super precise, right? That you have mechanical stuff on which they must be a certain angle and so on and so on. When that, you know, thing comes along, there are different ways on how you would approach the modeling process itself. So one should not worry about that. Also, you got this scan file from client. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. There it is. There is something I'm planning on posting later on YouTube. There are the details of the car, and that's the engine at the back. Those are the details that need to be done. So now that we have these proper shapes here, I can get this, pretty much delete everything that we have here. Just like that, literally. I'll hold on to these here, so to have some control on where we need to merge them and so on. I heard rev in your background. A rev. Oh, it's just a song. It's just the song that I have. It's filmed on Amalfi Coast. It has this casual rhythmic repetition, and in the background, a car can be heard passing by, so you hear that. Let me replay it again. It was just Yeah, you heard that, right? So yeah, it's like perfect setting for me for this work, and I enjoy it. It's very, chilling. Uh, chilly. Chilling is something else, I suspect. Uh, it's chill. I meant to say Jesus, damn it. It's very chill, so I enjoy it a lot, and it's quite the perfect sound for this live streaming of mine, where I can play this song on repetition, no matter how much. I mean, it's not getting boring or anything. It's a non-copyright as well. You can find it on YouTube, I'm sure. Anyone who is interested in that, yeah, you can go look it up. It's called Amalfi 4 hours coastal ambient music of a kind, something like that, and it's really good. So where were we? We have this that is flat with a line on top, so that means that these lines here, they need to touch this like that. This first. Okay, so now we have something that we have to play for around here. That is selecting that panel needs to meet this panel. Pretty much right. Like that. Now I'll combine these with these, and I'll try to make the full circle here that we have. To match with this here. Like that. Except I forgot that these are getting on the inside, like by these differences in here, this gap, it tells me that the gap needs to remain like it is right now. So the circle actually, it's quite fine. Okay, this is gonna be a bit tricky. How to approach this? It should be quite straightforward, but it's not. I can get that. Okay, so the point is in getting these three combined and just try to match them there. And then these, wait a sec, so we have to be very precise here. So Now we are good to go. Sorry if I disturb you by chatting. I let you work in peace. No, dude. I mean, you're not disturbing me. I'm welcoming chat. Pretty much. I mean, if I wanted to work in peace, I would have been working alone, not streaming. That's for sure. So don't worry whatsoever. I welcome chatting. On the opposite, you know. Feel free to do so, to chat. That's why basically I'm streaming. So now I'd like for this one to be less popped up, because how it is. So okay, we need to that. I was sure that there was another way, but I'm kind of lazy to look it up. There is a way where you can play with the soft, with the way the soft effect is taking that line there. But yeah, anyway. So what I'll have now is I'll try to actually I won't touch anything else other than that. That's right, that's cool. So all I'll do is have this on the top basically here, and we can surely do this as well. Also, we'll just try to cut it down a bit like that. We don't want to do everything all over again from scratch, so I'll just use that element there that we had. Also this one, bring it up like that. Now we have perfect shape there. It looks fabulous. Lower that, lower this. Once beveled, it's gonna be looking very nice. Now let's get on these. I'm gonna delete all these here. You see, it's kind of work done for nothing. I've spent the entirety of the stream yesterday making these, but now I'm deleting them. So it's an evolution of what I'm doing. It's evolution of the, you know, of the approach, which is why it always amazes me that the effort people do in when they do tutorials on how things are done, because from doing these things, I'm quite sure that they haven't done them from the start. You know, they have tried it several times, and then they have went back and tried to reinvent things. And now this is how it needs to be done. You know, well, you know how it needs to be done because you've done it 10 times previously, right? So it's not that also suddenly it occurred to me that this is how it needs to be done. It's just that I made the topology on how I feel it should be done. And now I can dive deeper into creating the details with, let's say, more uniform shapes using NURBS. So I have these NURBS here which are straight on, right? You know, there is no millimeter of them flinching on the left or the right side. So why I'm doing this is because in mechanical parts you have that. And previously when I did that with the Ford 34 Legend that I had on my portfolio, I will tell you guys, it looks impressive, but I'm not very much happy with how I made the engine, because it has more or less abstract subjective shapes which I couldn't get around, in sense of I couldn't get the point on how they had to be made, because I did not have many great references of it. I still had a 3D scan, but it didn't show it well, and I just tried to go around pretty much to block out, but with a bit more details while blocking out. So here with this model, I'll try to make it mechanically sound correct, like proper shapes, lines, details around that. No matter how much is not gonna be seen, at least I'll like to have it as precise as I can get it. So that's my my goal here, and how I approach these things now with this shape, and which is why I'm working like 3 days only on this. Thanks for inspiring me a lot, man. I'm so glad I met Oleg, you, Vip, and GKY, or Y, that is, and many more I met recently. Yeah, I'm thinking same. You deleting work you spent for those time along. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. At least I'm glad you like it, man. I'll tell you, I really invest time on finding a nice song, nice proper one. Did not want to have just any. Now, what on earth is going on here? Okay. Is it okay if you have triangle on your models? I'm asking for you. Also, how you optimize for games and how for CGI works too. CGI is more about having high quality assets that have more geometry on them. For example, in automotive, if you want to have a good looking car that doesn't have any problems with the... I'm sure you've seen 3D models which they're great, but when you put them on rendering, they're reflecting the shadows, the lightning. Actually, they're reflecting it very bad. What you get on the reflection of the car, it's not proper. Like this light here, I don't know if you can see my mouse where I'm pointing at. If you, when you see on those cars, for example, the reflection of the light, it's gonna be broken like that, like a disturbing line. So that doesn't need to happen when you are doing visualization on cars. The one way, few ways is there are few reasons why that is happening. It can be normals, it can be UV map, or it can be just not proper made geometry, and it can be history. Because I have had great models like with proper geometry, they still did not reflect it in the way they should have had. What I came to realize is that you really have to, make the geometry much more dense. You have to apply much more geometry for that, and so on and so on. That's why there are big differences when you have a car for visualization, a car for rendering, like that, or game design. Game design, it's obviously running an engine, and different rules apply to that. What I'm trying to make is that I'm trying to make like middle ground between both, so I can have it both ways. So I can have a piece that can be pretty much brought in a game because it's already mindful of the number of geometry, but also the geometry can be good enough so when you're doing visualizations that it can be, properly visualized, so you don't have issues with it. So you have nice reflections, and all that is how it should be. So I am somewhere in between. I'm not purposefully doing this for visualization alone, or only for gaming. So I'm in between. Speaking of the triangles, it's completely fine to have triangles as long as they are not interfering with the flow. For example, right now, what I made previously, I made sure that this circle here can be, taken as a whole quickly. Now I have this in here. I'll connect it like this, because this in between here, it doesn't mean anything for the circle alone. What I might do is I'll add this line here, so I'll modify it slightly like that. I'll try to make this to be as uniform as possible, and then this as well with it in line like that, and I'll try to by eye pretty much lift it up. Wait a sec. So like that, to lift it up. You see, so we don't have interruption in this flow of geometry here. So that's what matters when you work with quads, that pieces like that are not interrupted. So you have the whole structure from bottom to top like this to be flowing, to have in the crucial places basically to have quads. Other than that, everything is allowed. You can have pretty much even angons, but they're just not good for the texturing. But you can surely have them, because unless rigging or using in a game, you won't have any problems with that. Now look at this. For some reason, yeah, I was showcasing the beveling and now I'm messed it up. Okay, no big deal. Clean that up. It's time to save. I'm working almost 3 hours and I haven't saved even once. Where am I? Porsche 962C scenes. That's right. Yesterday I saved it in a different folder entirely. So this morning I had troubles finding it. I was scared as what word comes next. I was scared that I had lost all that work, but luckily I did not. I got it back. So now I'll just try to, again, like I've said previously, speed up along. I wish there was, but there's just no other way. Or actually, no, there is no. Not other way. I have to still move these, so I have the points on where these things have to cut, or we can separate them, make boolean, and then all around that. But yeah, I'm not sure how much that is convenient. I'm just used to this all too much, so I'm just gonna continue with it. Like I've said previously, there are more or less like 3, 4, 5 ways on how you can do certain things, and it's not like one or the other is right or wrong, as long as the geometry that you're doing is properly made and what you want to show is achieved. Of course, there's no sense in me now going trying to make these pillars here like vertex by vertex. Basically I was trying to sort out the geometry, and then just what I did, I just made a curve out of the geometry, pulled them up, and now it's much better. I also worked as texturing artist in DreamWorks and Netflix and Cartoon Networks too, but now I'm working as texturing artist for startup studio who's have clients in the Middle East. Truck, horn, mad, me love hard. I did not understood that one, but to read you from what you've said previously. Also, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Blaster, working as 3D texturing artist with 2 years experience, and also I work as generalist in freelance works. What you said, dude, that you're working with Netflix and all that, that's darn impressive. I sure don't work with Netflix, so that's awesome, man. We can delete this. Maybe if they need someone to work on 3D modeling, you can recommend me. Now we have that. Now this. We'll just bring it up to these points here. This needed, not needed. Everything that's below, we'll just drag it and merge it with these points on top. If it becomes all too confusing what I'm doing in a moment, I mean, applying controls that you don't see it, and so on and so on. It's all shortcuts that I use, applied by my own. Everyone can do that. It's pretty damn easy and very useful. I would say that I cannot imagine myself going back to work in the ways I used to do in the past, where you would go about, to look up for the tool in the menu and all that. I'm just having the tips on my fingertips here. So, 8th world wonder. Bro, I'm so small compared to you. You're a living legend. Oh man. Thank you so much for those words. I don't consider myself in the slightest like that, or anything close to that. But if you do write those comments when I post a video occasionally on YouTube, it will mean a lot. For anyone who's watching, maybe they will say, okay, what's so special about this guy? Maybe we should, maybe we're missing something. Let's check it out. If you ever encounter my videos on YouTube, yeah. You're always legend for me, no man. I was supposed to be modeling sculptor, but in my first job they swapped me to texture team due to less people in texturing team, and 4 years later here I am struggling to be good at anything or something. Um, if you're good with texturing, I would say to stick with that. But of course, if you have passion about 3D modeling, there is no one to tell you not to do it, right? So I would say do whatever makes you happy. You know, if it makes you happy, try to do it. I have friends that said, you know, I want to do this, but I don't have the time and so on. Maybe it's just that we are different kind of people, you know, but we are different kind of people for certain, because if I like to do something, I cannot sleep until I do it. I cannot sleep until I do it, no matter what. And I don't care. I'm selfish in that regard. Dude, don't call me, you know, I'm working on this. I don't have time for anything else. It's like I wouldn't like to exaggerate it right now and say that it's a life or death matter, but it's pretty much, you know, my likelihood of doing something or anything with my life and doing nothing. So if this is the only thing I know how to do, and you know I have to invest time in it and so on and so on, well, everything else falls secondary to that. I don't have any time for anything else. And sometimes I feel very bad that I haven't spent enough time working on this car that I would usually like to have, because I've been playing quite a lot of games since December, and if I spent that time working on this car, I would have been much closer now that I am now. So that's on me, that's my bad, and sure, I don't want to repeat that. So anyway, sorry guys, I just try to focus on this. I'll get back to you in a moment. I haven't read anything yet, Blaster, but I'll say that I'm very glad that you stopped by, you yourself, Willem, some guys that I met alongside others that I already have previously, and that, I mean, the community is overall, like, I feel like it's growing, you know, the people that I get to know, the circle is bigger. And I very much like that. That's very much the reason why I began streaming. If I weren't streaming, I wouldn't have had contact with Biba, I wouldn't have had contact with Oleg, I wouldn't have had contact with Nimlot, or you know, guys like these that are creating, that are doing stuff. You know, sure, there are many others, great artists and so on and so on. Not many of them, at least none of them probably are streaming, but I like interaction with people. The only thing I don't like is myself being on a camera. I don't like myself, you know, speaking too much or hearing myself. So me doing this is something that I'm already doing, you know, way out of my comfort zone. Anyway, so Blaster B says, my work setup scene is newer, remaining all over 4 years old. Let me check that up. I like these, the PlayStation joystick. I would say you'll have to improve a bit on the buttons on the right side. They don't have the color, and the stickers that you have, if I'm not mistaken, they're slightly different, but overall the whole model like this, it's very nicely made. I like it a lot. The whole desktop thing, we have the same here, this thing, the HyperX. We have the same, man. There's a like and follow back. Thank you for the follow, by the way. We have the same microphone. I mean, it's just a great microphone that I'm using since yeah, some months ago. But overall, dude, the work that you have here, it's very nice. I like this, what you've made, and this is something also I want to make for myself. You know, the desktops, the laptop on the side, the shelves I have here, literally my working station that it is, as it is. Saravan. How do I pronounce your name? Saravanan or Saravanan? Saravanan. The gun is also very nice, although it's quite yeah. This is really low poly. Model textured, mapped, rendered by myself 5 years ago. I like that too. Although I would tell you to remove that, because you have the texturing is nice. The texturing is nice, although it can be much better considering it's too much tiling. There's too much tiling to it. I see interesting details. They're very nice, but I would tell you to try and keep the scale, the scales the same. For example, you have these. Maybe they are just normals, I don't know, but there are some things like these which don't make sense much. There is stretching here. You have these circles not so you know, smooth. There is no smoothing here. This is pretty much generic. You see those kind of details. These try to apply bevel to everything. Try to apply bevel to everything that you work on, because bevel is gonna make work from you know, from what you have here to how eventually it would look for very, you know, for studio work, let's say, because no such thing in the world it has these sharp lines, nowhere, and this is like just a block out. So I mean, even considering it's done in your college days, like you just stated, it's pretty impressive considering it's, you know, it's 5 years ago and you've been learning. But this is pretty much what happens when you have too much on your hands and you're learning. I would say, you know, stick only to 3D modeling to try to improve the whole geometry of this, then try to UV map it all over again and do a whole different you know, texturing to it. Because look at this this thing. This is much better, like the quality, the the details you've done, the textures, the feel of the materials. Uh, Obviously, if someone goes in it and is trying to find, imperfections everywhere in everyone's work, you will find imperfection. But general, the feel that I have looking at this is very, very good. Now I don't know what you've taken that's been already a pre-made asset. I know this one is, I believe. I've seen it on the internet. These books are repetitive. Maybe you can, I don't know if they're, obviously there are different volumes and whatnot, but I mean, that's not that big deal. Maybe more the photo here that you have in the main, again, I'm not seeing bevel on these on the side, I would say. Maybe do that. I very much like the speakers. They're very well made. Yeah. Overall, looks very good. The lighting I like very much in this shot. The camera and all that, it's very nice. Obviously the joystick you've made. This is very good. This is very good. This is very good. I like it a lot. How you approach things, how you've done things. Even if somewhere the UV map it's kind of stretched, doesn't matter. I mean, not stretched on the overall, like the main shape, the main surface that is of the leather bag, but pretty much these on the sides. You see, they're like horizontally, they're not vertically, but it doesn't make any difference. It can happen. Those can be present on bags, but it's overall like it's great work. It's great work. Well done. The rest, I assume it's something older. Yeah, 5 years ago. This is interesting. Interesting stuff. Yeah. Characters I won't comment. I'm not into characters. I don't have any idea on characters, so yeah. Carlos Sainz. Williams has recovered lost Barcelona time, but FW48 still has quite a few limits. Okay. Because you joined Twitch, just got bottled with 1,000 accounts. Oh my god, what happened? Okay. Yeah. Okay, we are hitting 3 hours now, but considering I began like 10 minutes later and so on, I'll try to finish these couple of on the top here. So for Monday, when I commence with the other work, I'll have like less things to do. Today it's been quite productive in terms of what we are achieving here, so now I'll shut up and I'll just focus on the work. After this, for one long deserved coffee will be awesome. Okay, something. Yeah, I did not approach that very well. In any case, I'm gonna do them one by one. So first things first. Actually, I'd like to have cleaner slate. So I'll approach it like this. Now Enjoy your coffee, man. Thanks. It's no, I mean, I completely welcome, like I've said, chatting and all that. It's just that uh, I'm just gonna be more focused on the work. I can focus on both. No worry. Feel free to write. Yeah, that's what will help the stream to get you know approached by more people. So anyway, I mean, I'm gonna be finishing with the stream in like not more than half an hour, so that will be all for today. Next time we'll be streaming on Monday. Thanks, man. Okay, guys, I'll be finishing now. Thank you for all for the company, for stopping by, for the compliments, for the motivation. Yeah, it's about time. It's 12 o'clock, midday. I have other things to do really with the client. It's already way past 3 hours. Veer was here. I was not aware. That kind of had a rhyme. Veer was here. Okay, thank you guys for the company. Wishing you all great weekend. That's great. That's great. If you've been exercising, I'm about to go now do some exercising before going back on projects and sitting here for the remainder of the Friday. Yeah, wishing you